What you doing in New York City this morning, Roland?
I actually had an event yesterday that I spoke at, and I was in Fort Knox, Kentucky, Tom, on Saturday night for the NAACP Freedom Fund dinner. So shout out to all the brothers and sisters.
Not Fort Knox.
In the middle, yeah. I tried to see about get some money, but they wouldn't let me.
Okay.
Do they do tours?
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah. So it was. So shout out to those brothers and sisters there. I had a very good time with them. And off to Houston today. Speak to the Black McDonald operators tomorrow in Houston. So look forward.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
Yep. Look forward to that. Speaking of looking forward to something, Tom. Next week, big mayoral race in Montgomery, Alabama. Sorry. Did you know that in the Deep South, this is crazy, that Montgomery is one of only 3 cities in states with a population of 100,000 or more that have never had an African-American mayor.
I find that hard to believe.
And it's a city 60% black. Have never had a black mayor. Well, next week, Stephen Reed hopes to change that. He is in the runoff for the mayor there. Stephen Reed, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Roland. How you doing, Brother Joyner?
Hey, homie.
Everybody doing right? How you doing, Frank?
All right.
It is, y'all can chill with that frat stuff. But it is that shocked me, and I think probably shocked a lot of people. We think about Montgomery, we know about the Montgomery bus boycott. I mean, we since the laws were changed in the mid-'70s, you had black folks who have been on the city council there, but never a black mayor.
Wow. That's true, Roland. Unfortunately, that's never happened here. It's been way too long. I'm a little surprised to be in the race. We're in 2019. We're talking about still being the first here in the city of Montgomery. I guess because of voter turnout and because of systems that have been in place, we've never been able to have that. And we've also never had a candidate who's been able to raise the money necessary to run a competitive race and build a coalition that was needed to get across the finish line.
Also, you had, frankly, a lot of black folks running. I mean, this year there were 12 folks who were running, and 10 were African American.
That's correct. We got 42%. Even with that, we're in a Democratic city and a Democratic county, but we did have a large field this year because it's an open seat, and that's unfortunate. But I've won countywide. I ran in 2012 and became the first black probate judge here in Montgomery, Alabama. So I was able to transition a lot of that support in the mayor's race. And we did a good job spreading our message of opportunity to live, learn, and earn across this city. And we want the city to be in a place where we're not just talking about the history of Montgomery, but we're talking about the future. And we think we do that by investing in public education, investing in neighborhood revitalization, and investing in our entrepreneurial programs and our small businesses.
Are you from the Gump?
I am, Brother Jordan. I'm from the Gump.
What part?
2 blocks from Alabama State. Great HBCU right here in the heart of Montgomery, Alabama, not too far from Centennial Hill where Dr. King lived and many other civil rights icons. So I'm right in the heart of the city.
Yeah, did you go to Bama State?
I didn't. I went to Morehouse. I'm a proud Morehouse man. So I did.
That's
did
good.
Go to
That's
HBCU.
good, man. That's good. I'm glad you didn't go to Bama State, man.
Listen, I know we would have had problems around Turkey Day. You would have had issues with my parents and a lot of my family who are ASU alum.
Yeah.
But I don't have to get in that one.
Yeah. Okay, good. Man, good luck, bro.
Stephen Reed, I'm often curious when there are that many people. You said it's an open seat running for mayor. Is there a discussion amongst the black candidates about coalescing before you get to this point, and without diluting the power that you all have by everybody staying in the race?
There were some discussions that were had by community leaders, pastors, other elected officials, and neighborhood activists. I just don't think they were able to change the minds of some of the other candidates who were in the race. And that's okay. I mean, I understand we're in a democracy and everyone feels like, they hear a voice that calls them to run. At the end of the day, we felt like we had the best vision for the city and we had the best campaign and the best message to resonate in order to grow the economic footprint of Montgomery, capitalizing on not only our history, but our people and the potential to build a great future here. And I think that's why we got 42% out of 12 candidates. And so now we're in the runoff with a former GOP congressional candidate and we feel very good about our position, but we're taking nothing for granted.
Are you leading in the polls?
We're leading in the polls, but we're running like we're behind the polls, Brother Jordan. So we're gonna continue to run scared and continue to run with our head down. And if we can get the support of many of your listeners via online contributions at StephenLReed.com or Stephen for Montgomery on Facebook and Instagram, then that'll help us finish out this race and get out our vote, because that's what it's going to come down to right now, is getting out those voters who came out back in August and making sure they come back out in the runoff on October the 8th.
Which is 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right around the corner.
One of the things, Stephen, I always talk about again is the fact of the matter is we talk about getting power, but we also maximizing our power. Right? I think too often African Americans, again, if we actually vote our numbers, we can literally flip elections. I mean, in South Carolina, in Georgia, frankly, even though Mike Espy lost in Mississippi, if you actually break down those numbers, the votes were there if people turned out, but also if they were reached. What is your ground game? How is it precinct to precinct, door to door to drive that?
That's how we got this far rolling, is that we knocked on well over 13,000 doors in Montgomery, Alabama. We put that first. We make sure that's a priority, that we talk to voters about what their issues and concerns are. We knock on their doors. We go to barbershops and beauty salons. We're at the football games. We're everywhere our voters are, churches, clubs. We're taking nothing for granted, and we know it begins and ends with getting our vote out, and we believe that comes by taking it to the grassroots level and making sure that we're on the streets telling people why it's important that they get out and vote in this election.
October 8th, let's make history in Montgomery, Alabama. Stephen Reed, we really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Homie.
Good luck
Thank
to you, sir.
Roland. Thank y'all for all the work you've done supporting HBCUs and our community. Thank you so much, and good luck.